All right, everyone. Welcome back to a new season, a new year. Welcome to 2022, the first episode of the year for Crochet, Collectables, and Chatting. I am your host, Ray Ron VR, along with a lovely co-host of ours. How you doing, ma'am?
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm doing great, Rayron. Just coming back from my vacation, but that probably a lot of people know that. I've been very vocal on the subject, and especially that I haven't been streaming at all. No.
Right, but
So
you've
it's just like
been on your rounds with YouTube. I've been seeing a lot of podcasts lately. You've been very busy with that.
that was not my idea. Let's see, what podcast did I get on last time? Well, I did jump in like the last minute on a special edition of After the Weekend with my co-host R to the Icky. That was a family edition,
Hmm.
and thankfully I was able to jump in like for the last 10 minutes and say hi to everybody. They were reviewing Captain Underpants, if I'm not mistaken. That's
Yeah,
how
that
you
sounds right.
call it. And that was so sweet. I had the Mrs. R2, and little Spidey. So
Yeah, that was adorable. That was kind of a good idea to do that the family review, movie
yeah,
review. That was pretty cool.
and we did, and also we did some wing hugs. If you didn't know, oh, there's Dreaming Tabitha and
Yep.
Avery.
Yep. We got Avery and Dreaming Tabitha. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Ring hugs to both of you.
Thank you, Dreaming, and thank you, Tabitha. Happy stream. Likewise for yourself. I think you have your stream. There was a stream coming on with Inside the Booth, something like that.
Yep. Dream Tabitha does the inside the booth. I think I can't remember what the next stream is. Feel free to put a little shout out there. So whatever time you're going to be on there, Dreaming Tabitha, feel free to do so. Avery, wing hugs as well.
As always. Yeah, Avery always listens to us ramble about Sailor Moon and check out some new toys that we have on our stocks. Oh, Dan wanted to add say Twitter Space tonight.
There you
The
go.
same
So
time. Yeah, the same time that I was on Ray Ron's. So,
there you go.
but that's cool.
Plenty of content.
Whew. And we
And with
got
the
some.
butterfly wing
Oh,
hugs.
oh, that's sweet. So we got some new stuff, don't we, Ray Ron?
We do, and I believe you have a few new figurines you're working on.
I do. I have a 95% almost finished Sailor Guardian. She is one of the favorites, not my favorite, but one of the favorites out there. I have been giving some show offs of her on other streams, but this is the official one. Like I said, she is 95% ready. Um, and I will show you what the 5% that I'm missing. But what I love about this stream is that I can really get into detail. In the other streams, we're like, okay, she's here. You can see that embroidery, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
here, I show off like the real detail that she has. So that's really exciting.
That's awesome. Well, the
And
floor is over to you then.
oh, sweat. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I gave you already sort of what premiered, but we're going to get into some lovely stuff right here. Give you right now Sailor Saturn. There she is. I hope you guys can see her properly, and you can see me.
The Sailor
We don't
Scout of
usually
Death.
the Sailor Scout of Death. This was a commission by another fellow Twitter account that actually Rayron, that's where I met Rayron. You remember the first Sailor Moon manga series that Lady Gravemaster and Lethal Lightning did?
Yep, I'll never forget it.
That was where we met. That's how we started off this wonderful podcast. And I showed off my previous Sailor Moon on that one. And this guy contacted me, said, I want one for my fiance. So I did one. She said, no, actually, I got geeked talked in saying that Sailor Saturn is her favorite. So there she is. Yes, Dreaming Tabitha, I know you highly enjoy her boots. This is a new
Oh, that's
pattern.
awesome.
This is a new pattern that I just bought. This is like the first one that I did. And what is the difference between that one and this one? I'm going to show off the next one that I have. This one here is my current project, which is, as you know, Cara Dune. This is another one that I purchased. To Dunadan, there you go. Thank you so much for coming in. This is where I show off all my stuff, but in great detail. This is where I really get into stuff and what happens. So if you look at here, the difference between the 2 feet are major. So this one here is the new pattern that I will be using for future Sailor Scouts. And this one is the old pattern that has a big, like the big boots, if you notice. So I can't really use this one here for delicate dolls as this one. So that's one of the first things that I loved about this pattern. You have always, as always, I don't know if, oh man, I hate this lighting. There it is, something like that. You can see the details in the, no, you can't see it. I can't even see it. Let's see if I can get some good lighting.
It's somewhat noticeable on the fingers.
There it is, the fingers here. So what happens here? Why do I say 95%? You see, I'm not at home right now, so I'm kind of missing a few things that I do use for my patterns. And what I use for the fingers is some sort of varnish, just to make them stiff, and I can mold them to where I want to get them. Right now, they do not have varnish, so I can probably do this, and it looks like Sailor Saturn has just broken her finger. So we don't want that. We want her grabbing her weapon right here.
Oh, look at that. Is that custom made?
Yes, I did this myself.
That is cool.
As always. So again, this is the other part of the 5% that I'm finishing, because this weapon actually is more detailed than it shows. The details in this part here is right here. If you guys look at some sort of picture that you can probably find on the internet, it has some sort of metallic things coming out here, and at the bottom down there, I still have to finish off this with ceramic. That's going to be done with ceramic and painted in black. So I still got a few details to finish. I will be finishing her by the weekend because I am traveling tomorrow. Let's see, other details. So for those of you who know about Sailor Scouts, they have different types of transformations. This one here, I decided to do the crystal transformation because I love the petals. These petals, you do not find them easily on any Sailor Scout. Let me see if I can pull that up right there. There you go. So actually, Sailor Saturn has some sort of a flower coming out as her sleeve. So I had to figure this out, actually, see how I could do that. So I decided to do petal by petal and then sew it on to her shoulder right there. And then afterwards, obviously, her floppy thing, her sail, that's like the typical sailor thingy, obviously covers that, and it looks as if it comes out like naturally from her shoulder. And then another detail is the elbows. So usually Sailor Scouts just have like 2 rounds of the elbows of the colors of that Sailor Scout. In this case, the crystal Sailor Scout does not have it. She has a pointy thing coming out. And that was another challenge, to find out how I can actually manage this one here. And it comes out, as you can see. It has to point out from her arm. So another challenge.
Yeah, I never noticed that it was kind of hanging out like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. You can look at it on the internet. I have found several pictures of Sailor Saturn, and I thought this one was the most detailed, and it was one of the hardest things because you think, well, how can I do that? Because this one here is completely custom made. There is no pattern to do these details. And choosing the bow, the color of the bow was, it was difficult because as you can see, I wasn't able to get an eggplant color, but this was the closest thing that I had at the moment, which came out nicely. But this one here, I was like, I'm looking for blood red.
Right.
And you gotta work with what you have, the yarns that you can find. So thankfully, it does contrast beautifully. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. It really pops out, giving it depth.
The only thing, and another thing of this beautiful pattern is that she has actually ears.
Oh, yeah.
She has ears. And it was great because I love these ears. I used to do some sort of custom made ears, and it looked like they had like a taxi driver with like the doors hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And now she has delicate ears. I wasn't able to put on her earrings. It was just too much detail. And the only thing that I would say would be missing is her crystal here and her crystal here on her neck. But that just you can only do so much. So there you have it. Those are the finest details of this crochet doll. Obviously, the boots are very, very characteristic. Sailor Moon has 1 point going up. Sailor Saturn has 2 points coming up. Well, I just sewed them on her leg, so.
All right.
So yeah, there she is. Obviously, hand embroidered. Her eyes. I'm kind of getting the hang of the eyes now.
Yeah, I got that anime gloss eyes look.
Exactly, and that's what I want to get once I have a few more orders, so hopefully I will be able to get even more details on that. So there you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Officially, Sailor Saturn. She will be shipping next week. So so stay tuned for the unboxing. Hopefully they'll do an unboxing.
That's awesome. And I saw you working on another one there.
Yes, I am. Hey, Subhuman! Thank you so much for coming. I am just showing off. And Miss Martin! Miss Martin Teresa, hi! I have just shown off all the details on my new Sailor Saturn. And I am just going to show off my Headless. She's still headless. I am working on her head somewhere. I left her. I'm going to put Sailor Saturn on the other side. Okay. And this one here is the previous pattern that I have, like I mentioned. The feet are very, very big, so I decided to use that for boots. This is the Headless Cara Dune. So what I love about her is that she has, obviously, she has the fingers as always, and they're kind of pointing out in very, very different directions until I do varnish it. But this little, the details also are incredible. I have been working with 2 yarns at the same time just to make this right here.
Oh,
so thankfully she's not that big bottomed. My Sailor Saturn is more is better bestowed, you could say, in that sense. The pattern over there has a little bit more of a bottom, but this one here, thankfully, is not. And obviously, I am missing all of the details of the armor, which I will. I haven't decided if I'm going to crochet it or if I'm going to use ceramic. I still have to.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is like, what accessories are you gonna put on her?
Oh, she's gonna have it all. She's gonna have the armor. She's gonna have the belt. She's gonna have. She has some sort of fabric coming out on this side, on both sides of her legs. So I have to sew on that. She's going to have her tattoo here. Obviously, that's very, very important for Cara Dune since she was part of the rebellion. And she's going to have her armor covering up here, her shoulder pads, everything, the works. So this one is going to be for Drunk 3PO.
Yeah.
But yes, he was
That's
the one who
awesome.
commissioned this. He was the one who commissioned this. And I asked him if I could post pictures and show it off. And he said, go ahead. Because you never know, you wanted it to give it to somebody else.
Right.
But and with this I'm going to finish anyway. But the thing is that last night I was showing this figure off on another person's channel, and he said, oh well, it's for Drunk 3PO. And it's like, yes, but even if it weren't for Drunk 3PO, if it were for you, for anybody else out there, I would put as much love and as much detail as I could, regardless of the person who commissioned it, because this is part of me that's going out. So I leave my soul, a part of my soul in this crochet, in this doll. So yeah, I really, really regard the details very, very highly. So
yeah, definitely much praise to you, because me as a collector, I want to hoard everything and not give anything away. So it's like, I get that feeling.
I really don't want, I am getting really attached to these dolls, but then again, I would have a huge collection and I would go broke and wouldn't have enough money to buy some more yarn. Besides, I really like people, enjoying my art. If my art makes you smile, it just makes me smile even more. So thank you, Miss Martin. Thank you, Subhuman. And that's it. That's all I have for today. Stay tuned for the new Cara Dune character that I will be finishing off next week. So I'm going to be posting pictures of that before she goes.
Yeah, you've just been a workaholic on those figures, man. Just tackling it out.
Oh man, yes, I am. I am getting a little bit obsessive, but it's such an awesome thing, to see it finished. Oh man. So yeah, that's it. And what do you have?
Well, we're at that point where we're almost at the end of my collection. We've finally gotten through most of it. Most of the stuff I'm going to be showing today is actually something that I got like the day after Christmas, because my local anime store actually got a whole bunch of these figures in. And I was like, well, that's where all my Christmas money is going to go to. / birthday, because it falls in the same week.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm gonna write
so
that
mine's
down.
the 21st, so it's like that whole week is just presents.
Ooh, okay, got it.
But anyways, so the first thing, we've got our normal wall scroll here. I still have a few of these left to show off, but we got Pegasus over there.
We're gonna get to that manga at one point. I really want to talk about Pegasus. So for those of you, as you know, you can if you can look at the details on the shoulder pads. That's the detail that I put in Sailor Saturn's costume. So these ones are transparent, but if you look at the pictures on Sailor Saturn's transformation of Crystal, Super Sailor Saturn, they actually look like flowers. So that was a really, really big challenge. And that is just a gorgeous thing that you got there, Rayron.
Yeah. All right. So we'll go ahead and start with the first one. We've got Amy in her outfit.
Oh, you know how much I love that. I so love those instead of the Funk Pop. Definitely.
So my side of the podcast today is going to be a lot of unboxing. So I'm just going to go ahead and get through all this. I was waiting a while to get these open. It's like, I need to be patient. I want to show these off.
You are more patient than I am. I couldn't resist and just, brag about the stuff that I was doing.
Right. So
wow. So for those of you who don't know, this collection is just coming out. They are very, very pretty collections. The eyes are just so well done and characteristic.
Yeah, I
So Sailor
definitely
Mercury.
prefer these over the Pop Funkos because I don't like the idea of the Pop Funkos having the black eyes. I think that's just
Mhm,
weird and lazy. But
mhm.
these ones are definitely better, more characteristic. The eyes are definitely more realistic to the anime style, and they're a little bit more expensive than Pop Funkos, but I think they're worth it. And what's nice about these line is that you got other anime that's coming out in these Q poxy formats, the same
Really?
scale, so that way you can mix and match.
Oh, everybody in the chat, if you guys like anime or any type of manga, just show it off and we can cover that also. We are both big, huge fans of anime, so.
Yeah, and I'm definitely huge on manga, so you can see that on my
Mhm.
Timeless Escapism channel. But there she is there on the
I bought
turntable.
myself one of those turntables, you know. It's coming
Nice.
in. Yes, finally. Oh, she is so cute.
Cool. So that is one down.
Mhm. Yeah, when I saw that turntable you had there, I said, I gotta get me one of those. I
Yeah,
just got it.
they're really nice. It's kind of been so I saw a different type of turntable. It's more for those like metal sculpture things that kind of
Mhm.
hovers because it's a magnetic base. And then it's like
Oh,
I need to
cool.
upgrade it so that way I can do bigger items and actually make a channel out of it. Took me a couple years, but finally was able to establish it here on the Endless Collectibles.
Nice. So for those of you who do not know, Amy's a brainiac. Oh, look at that. She is so cute. And that's
Yeah.
a typical school uniform in Japan, actually.
Yep. All right.
What you got next?
You got Serena
Oh,
in her school
whee!
outfit, or yeah, school outfit.
Usagi. That's so cute.
Yeah, one thing I don't get about these Cube Poxics though is that they've got these two different types of fades for the colors. They got A and B, and the one
Ah,
that has the heart over it is the color scheme that you're getting. So I don't know why
huh.
they did that. It's just a thing.
So weird. Yes, Dreaming Tabitha. It's super cute. Super cute.
For sure.
If they come out with other mangas, like I mean, with other characters and mangas, they are gonna get
I'll do a sneak
it's gonna
peek.
be yeah. Oh my god, you got that one? Oh man. Okay, I'm getting so excited.
Maybe that one too.
Oh my god. Hey!
I got a few of
You
them. Like my anime store definitely got a whole bunch of them. Man, it's like, oh no.
you're lucky I'm not over there because I would be competing with you in purchasing those things.
And the thing is that they actually got a whole bunch in, and they're not selling as good as I thought they would. But I think it's just the local area is not really big into anime. So there's all the
Well,
pieces.
can I say lucky for you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, let me also rephrase. There's not a lot of Sailor Moon fans in my area. I'll put it that way. If anything, Demon Slayer is usually the big ones that go quick.
Okay, fair enough. I wonder what would happen if it was a Thundercats.
I wish they would come out with some more merchandise, but I haven't seen anything for them. Because they really need to come out with the figures in this scale. I know they came out with the pop vinyls, and those ones are really hard to find nowadays.
So here's a question for those who collect. I don't know if anybody in the chat actually collects vintage or things that are rare. So Um, if you had to sell them, would once they're opened, could they sell more than you've actually bought? Actually, for what you purchased it.
So in my experience, it just depends. It's comes down to supply and demand and just how popular they are. 9 times out of 10, you would want to keep it wrapped up in the box. They're usually always worth more
Mm-hmm.
because the minute you bring it out of the box, it tends to be worth less. But depending on, again, supply and demand, sometimes if there's a high demand and it becomes really rare, sometimes items out of the box will be just as expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just depends from my experience.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so adorable.
And there she is, Yusaki.
Man, I love how they do the hair, everything. It's just so characteristic. It's so realistic.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with these cute poxic.
Just letting it turn.
And they're getting popular too, because like I found Sailor Saturn at Hobby Lobby over here in the US, and I was really surprised to find it there. So I've been keeping my eyes open, and they've been getting One Punch Man, they've been getting My Hero Academia, and I've considered picking those up, but I really want to focus on getting the Sailor Moon collection done first. Then I'll branch out. And now we got Mars.
Oh God. Okay, fine, Mars. No, wait a second. Did you actually buy all the inner Sailor Scouts?
I bought all the scouts they had available.
Okay. All right.
They didn't have them all because I was really hoping they would get the rest of them in. And the issue is that there's two different sets. You've got their school form sets that have come out, and then obviously their Sailor Scout form. So I've got quite a bit of collecting to do with these.
That was pretty smart of them, actually, because the Pop Funkle, I always get the name wrong. Sorry about that. I think they only have the Sailor Scout form.
Yeah, they only came out with the Sailor Scout form, and then they came out with some special edition ones like Serena in her Queen Serenity form, and her Super Sailor Moon form. But yeah, the rest was just in the Scout form.
Yeah, these guys were smart. They came out with both of them.
Oh, the pieces.
Like 3 pieces. I remember when you did. What was it that you did? It took forever to put together.
Yeah, because there was a piece in there that wasn't really chopped out, so I had to shave it down a little bit.
Was it the Super Sailor Moon or the Super Sailor Chibi?
It was a Super Sailor Moon one I was having issues with.
That was a lot of pieces, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying, huh? As much as I am, at least.
Yeah, it was Christmas all over again. All right, and there she is, Rey. Not the Star Wars Rey.
Oh God, no. That's Mary Sue Ray.
And if you guys notice, she's actually wearing a different school outfit because she did go to a different school district as the other scouts.
I gotta say her hair is really cool. Okay. I have to say that for Mars.
Yeah, this one is the lighter tone colors of this because again, this is that AB scheme that they're doing. And I'm looking at the wall scroll, and like her hair is like a really dark red.
Yes. Red, I would say was like black, like raven black.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it. And this one's more of a purplish
Like
tone.
bluish. Yeah, sure.
But again, I think this is also the crystal form that I think they kind of went
Okay.
after. Yeah, matter of fact, this is the Sailor Moon Eternal, so that is the crystal logo.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Ooh.
Yep.
One of my not my favorite pieces. Oh, she's such a whiny little baby.
It's Lady Gravemaster's favorite character, that's for sure.
No, it's not. Lady Gravemaster's favorite character is Sailor Saturn.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
They're always good people.
Yep.
And Lethal Lightning.
They should be coming up on their next podcast this Saturday because it is the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a chibi style. And I've seen Dreaming Tabitha doing a chibi style character recently. I mean, like today, I've seen her video.
Yeah, talented artist. Oh,
very awesome. Very awesome. I would keep her headless though.
And we'll talk about that in the volume 5 here in a second.
Yes, we will.
Because volume 5 has a lot of questionable things.
Mm-hmm. I was reading it last night. It took me about an hour and a half to read. It wasn't the first time I read it, but I was like, whoa. Okay. It was like, ooh.
There. There's your Headless.
Oh, there you go. Oh, she's so adorable. Keep her like that. Brat.
All right. And there she is.
All right. Well, fine. Be that way. That's okay. No, she's cute. She's super cute.
So that is the last one they had of the Sailor Moon collection. So I still have a few more to keep my eyes out for.
Sure.
Because Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, I think all have their
and Pluto
school form. Yeah, and Pluto.
Okay. Pluto has school form?
I think in this collection she does. I have to double check.
Because in the mangas and in the anime, as far as I'm concerned, she's kind of like, old. She graduated, you could say, if she ever went to school.
All right. So now we get to other anime.
Oh my gosh. Inuyasha.
Now, funny thing about this manga, he follows around another schoolgirl. I can't remember her name, but it's like, is that Rei? Why is Rei in this anime? Because it's like the character design, and it just looks exactly like her.
And I like that you bought the I don't know if you could decide, but I like that you bought the white haired. It looks so awesome.
Yeah, that was the only one they had. And it's like that's how I remember his form. So.
Wow. He looks so cool.
Yeah, I think I've got 3 volumes of the manga too. I got to reread and do a spotlight video on them. So I do love this manga.
I haven't read it. Well, I haven't really never got my hands on it, so maybe I can find it on the internet. If I'm lucky.
Yeah, the original release is kind of hard to find, but I know in common circulation you'll find like the collector's edition, which is like 3 volumes in one, and those are the ones that I have. So I think I've got 6 volumes worth.
Wow.
All right.
You got the pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha!
That
Yes.
sword's going to be fun. See if I did not bend it. Okay, there's the sword.
That is cool.
Yeah, and detail's pretty good too on these because the paint job's not too bad.
Not too bad. That's awesome. That is pretty cool. Look at that. It's almost as good as my stuff. Shameless self-promoting. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, it's all good.
No, I promote when I see awesome stuff and good art, I promote it. I definitely promote it.
Okay, there we go. This is definitely up there.
You didn't bend it, did you? Oh, good. Okay, awesome. That looks cool.
Yeah, it just slid from the bottom here.
Nice, nice.
That is a pretty beefy figure.
I love the pants. They're so cool. I think I'm gonna make myself some. And well, you showed it a little bit before and just let it turn, but I loved the expression in his eyes. That was pretty awesome.
I'll have to look at that again. Yeah, when they pose these figures, especially how the hair looks animated, like floating in the wind there, I love when they do that type of detail.
It doesn't make the figure stiff.
Yeah. Right?
Yep. That is a job well done, you know, and that's the kind of stuff that people enjoy buying, are willing to place their money in. Yeah. Look at the expression.
Yeah.
Oh man. Details. We can get lost in those.
And the last one for today.
Oh, Elsa. But if you notice it, she does. Well, I don't know. This is my perspective, my opinion. She doesn't have the same expression as the one that Inuyasha got.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of just staring.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not ugly, huh?
No, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. But the Inuyasha one was, no, took the gold for me.
Okay, that dress though.
Oh, wow. Let it go. Let it go. I can't sing when the occasion calls for it.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow, look at it. Oh, wow.
So I'm slightly biased, and this is like way cool.
Yes. Way cool is an understatement.
Yeah, it really captured her dress really well.
Yes. Gorgeous.
Let's see here. Okay. let's see here. The base does not want to cooperate, though. Let's see. There we go. All right, and there she is.
Oh, wow. Look at that. She is very pretty. Very pretty. Wow. My niece would love that. She's a really huge, big Elsa fan. She has everything of Elsa. The only thing she doesn't have is a crocheted Elsa from me. It's the only thing missing in her collection. Hey,
Right.
Phil.
Hello,
Thank you so
Phil.
much for coming. We're just enjoying now Ray Ron's awesome collection. We've done some very, very interesting, beautiful unboxing. So,
All right.
yeah. Avery's here. Tabitha is/was here, as well as Miss Martin and Subhuman. So tonight, aha. All right, everybody. So now comes the part where we discuss geek stuff. Anime
And we
geek
will
stuff.
go into a little bit of spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, then close your ears. Because this one, I do want to talk about a few spoilers.
Yes, definitely. All right, then. So where does it start off? I got my edition opened up.
So if I remember correctly, they need to go rescue Sailor Moon from the Dark Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And Chibi Moon was abducted or kind of joined forces with the Wise Man.
Yes, exactly. So we, just for everybody to know, we are now based on Crystal Tokyo, which is the 30th century. Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask have become Prince Endymion and Neo Queen Serenity. So that's where it is. That's Crystal Tokyo, Ray Ron's favorite place, and paradise.
Ever. This is something about the crystal skyscrapers that's pretty awesome. On top with the center tower having the park of the Royal Palace, which is really cool.
And if you want to go to paradise, at least right now, before Real Paradise comes out, you can go check that out in Japan. The only thing is that you'll have to buy us both a ticket to go there. So there'll be 3 tickets to Tokyo. Ray Ron's, mine, and yourselves if you want to go visit them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's this one particular park where they've actually got digital light shows of the Crystal Towers in Crystal Tokyo. They've got all of the princesses dressed up in their princess forms, and it's quite a sight to see. I really respect the Japanese culture and them embracing their culture and their anime and heritage. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you can always look at it on the internet. And Duna Dan, good night. Have a good one. We'll be interacting tomorrow, obviously. And if not, you remember next Monday, there's going to be an After the Weekend episode. So
Good night, Dan. Thanks for dropping by. Wing hugs to you, good sir.
So okay, so this manga starts off in which Sailor Moon has been abducted by Prince Diamond, who is obsessed with her, and Chibiusa slash Rini has gone into the time bowl or the time space continuum because she felt alone, basically. And
Yep.
she encounters the Wise Men, and it starts off there where she embraces and kind of joins forces with the Wise Men, changing herself, but we're going to get to that. And the new Sailor Scout there is Sailor Pluto. So Sailor Pluto, Raywan, you
So she is
describe her?
so Sailor Pluto is kind of the very lonely scout that's very powerful because she is basically the scout of time, and she's been entrusted in making sure that the time gates are protected, and so she's got these respective keys in order to, open and close the door, but they've got to be used very wisely. But as a result,
Mhm.
she has to stay in this kind of door dimension between time. And so she's kind of just the scout that's by herself. Really sad story, but very um, important in her role as a result.
Mhm. Mhm. So, for those of you who don't know, this is my personal theory. As you can see, you have Sailor Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter, and each one has a power. For example, Sailor Mars is the power of fire and of war. So, my theory is that they used Roman mythology and those powers up to a certain extent, and entrusted those to these Sailor Scouts. Well, they kind of use it, because Sailor Venus is the power of love. Why? Well, the mythical goddess Venus in the Roman mythology was, the goddess of love, and Mars
Yep.
was the god of war. Jupiter was the god of thunder and lightning, and Sailor Jupiter's power is thunder and
Yep.
lightning. So
Right.
so I've done some research on Pluto, and it says it's actually the Roman god of the dead and the lord of the underworld. So
Oh,
that would be
wow.
Hades, Hades. So that really doesn't correspond to Sailor Pluto, but more like Sailor Saturn. So I have to find out if there is a goddess or god of Saturn. I think there is, if I'm not
Yeah, I think
mistaken.
there is
But
too.
so Um, what I found really interesting in this manga is that the fact that Prince Endymion, a Tuxedo Mask, and King Endymion could interact with each other, whereas Sailor Moon and Neo Queen Serenity couldn't. And I was thinking, like, that's interesting.
Yeah, their concept of time gets kind of wacky in this lore. And you said exactly right. So, and even at the end of the manga of this particular volume, our present day Sailor Moon states that, oh, I shouldn't meet, my future self because it could create, or, in our terminology of time, could potentially create a paradox. And it's like the author tries to acknowledge it, but then says, nope, just kidding. We're actually going to meet each other. And it's like, okay, this should be a paradox here to see your future self
Right.
like that.
And mhm. And I mentioned this because it's like practically like the first pages of the book, and you see the two men together, and then afterwards, when you get all the way to the end, it's like, wait, what? I thought they couldn't, and now, or they could, and now they couldn't. So it's like kind of weird. But anyway,
Yep, and
so
then Sailor Pluto is just like that too, because with Sailor Pluto, as we go through the story, she ends up using her abilities called taboos, which she's not supposed to do because she's got like a three rule essential law that she's not supposed to do. But in order to, there's a fight in here that in order for them to win, she has to use those taboos. And as a
mhm.
result, causes her to lose her life. Well, just kidding, because now the Silver Crystal Tokyo can revive all that. So now there's a whole bunch of story issues with this volume that really doesn't get addressed. But and that's my issue with this volume in particular, is that once you realize that she has the ability to control time and to stop time, and that the Silver Crystal
Mhm,
Tokyo can basically revive themselves, then you're stuck
mhm,
in this writing loop for the future. And you can see that she actually gets retconned a little bit in later volumes, but we'll talk about that in a later time.
mhm. So another thing that really popped into my brain in this volume was the fact that Tuxedo Mask and Chibiusa, they have some sort of special connection, which Sailor Moon and Rini do not have. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That sounds about right.
So so when so we have a Chibiusa, who feels alone, who feels rejected by her mother, actually, which is why there she is. Um, she she feels rejected by her mom, the Neo Queen Serenity, and if you guys don't know, actually, Rini or Chibiusa, there she is, Sailor Chibiusa, in the future, is 500 years old,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's stated in the first volume, in the previous volume. She is 500 years old, but since she is the product of the Moon Kingdom, which is Serenity, like the Moon heritage, and the Earthling, which is Tuxedo Mask, they don't know how the future generations will result. This has never happened before. So it's kind of like, Rini, you're an experiment. And for
Yep.
500 years, you have not changed.
Yeah, and then I just thought about another potential writing plot hole, unfortunately, because it's like in
Let's
this
see.
story, you've got the two silver crystals that, if they're touched together, could potentially, destroy the universe. But yet
Yes.
you have the evil villain lady, which I'm not gonna go too much into detail with her, but ends up kissing Darien, Tuxedo Mask. You would think that would have kind of the same consequences. So there's a whole bunch of issues with this volume.
Well, okay, so here's my theory about that. You have exactly, you have two silver crystals, but if you remember, those silver crystals come from the same person. So it's, but obviously one from the past and one from the future. So you have Serenity, Sailor Moon, which you can guys see on your left. The meatball, the yellow meatballs, because the other one is
Meatball head.
like well, Rainy would be like what, the ice cream head, because it
I
kind of
can't.
looks like an
I
ice
don't think
cream.
she really had a nickname
So,
for her
no,
hairstyle. I just
no,
remember
I would just
Meatball
call,
Head from the 90s anime.
yeah, and I would call Rainy the brat. All right, so we got the crystal, the silver crystal from Neo Queen Serenity, which is the future Sailor Moon, and the one that the present day Sailor Moon. You have two silver crystals that come from the same person. However, Rini has her own crystal, which comes out later in this volume when she transforms. So that's, I don't think that's a really that would be a plot hole. It would be more like a theory. It's like, okay, the two same silver crystals cannot touch, cannot fuse. However, since two silver crystals come from two different people, they can work together, and that works really well, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to relook into that because I thought the crystal that she had was the one that she borrowed from her mom from the future,
No,
or
no.
she stole it
Well,
essentially.
no, she did steal it. I mean, she stole the silver crystal, but and afterwards, Sailor Moon, when Pluto freezes time, before one of the evil guys touches both silver crystals.
Yeah, that was
Uh
Diamond.
exactly. When before Diamond touches both silver crystals, what does so Sailor Moon grabs those two silver crystals and then puts them apart. At that point, Rini does not have a silver crystal. She does not have it.
Right.
She has her own. She kind of comes out with her own.
And just to put things into perspective of just how powerful Pluto is, not only can she control time, she can actually pause a certain
Hmm.
space of time, which is
Hmm.
absurd. It doesn't really get addressed in the manga, but when you think about it, she was able to freeze a person while those around her can still interact. That is very powerful abilities.
Hmm. Would you say that Pluto is the most powerful Sailor Scout?
So I would have to compare it to the rest, and it's kind of yes, but there's a huge caveat. So obviously, you've got Saturn, which I would argue is the second most powerful because
Hmm.
Pluto can stop time. However, she has to sacrifice her life in order to do so.
Hmm.
And so there's kind of a trade off with that because
Hmm.
she would need the power of the Silver Crystal to revive her. So you can also probably argue that Sailor Moon is actually the most powerful because of the abilities of the Silver Crystal reviving
Mhm.
the dead. So interesting.
Well, actually, I wasn't thinking of, obviously for me in my case, Sailor Moon and afterwards Sailor Chibi Moon are the two most powerful scouts out there because of the whole thing of the silver crystal, and they are from the royal family. So I would like
Yeah.
to put them aside. I was thinking more like the inner Sailor Scouts and the outer Sailor Scouts. Some people would argue that Sailor Saturn is the most powerful one because she is the angel of death. And she can destroy. She has the ability to destroy everything. And
Yeah,
I
and
mean, literally.
what's interesting about Saturn is that we don't get to really see. We get to see her, some of her abilities, but there was
Mm,
actually a fan webtoon manga that kind of came out. I did a review on it on my other channel. It's called Heavy Metal Sailor Moon, and that really
mm-hmm,
explores like just how powerful Sailor Saturn can actually be. And
mm-hmm,
so I would definitely agree if it wasn't for Pluto freezing time, because she can pause Sailor Saturn's
mm-hmm,
abilities, and that's why I think it's kind of a little OP at that
mm-hmm,
point. But
mm-hmm,
Saturn definitely a strong second in my book because of her ability to just wipe everything off.
mm-hmm. Okay. So, going on through the manga, so you have the Sailor Moon who has been abducted, and you don't know what happened to Sailor Chibi Moon. Tuxedo Mask feels that Rini is in trouble, and she goes after her into the space-time continuum, even though Pluto says, "Please do not go without a key." I'm not sure if he actually goes with a key. I haven't. I think I've missed that detail. But cutting like the story a little bit short, Sailor Moon was able to be rescued rescued herself, you could say,
Yeah, yeah.
and along with her a few others. But in the meantime, you kind of find out something really interesting about the enemies. You would think that it was just people who are enemies. In this
Hmm.
case, something really interesting happens is that the final enemy, which is the wise men, is actually a whole planet. Beep, beep, spoiler alert.
Which is different than the anime. So when I was reading through this the first time, it's like, whoa,
Oh,
what was it,
really?
Nemesis, if I remember correctly, the whole planet's
Yes.
name,
Uh-huh.
or the
Exactly.
entity of Nemesis,
Mm-hmm.
as being the final boss is definitely, I
Mm-hmm.
think, in the manga only. I don't remember seeing that in the anime version.
I don't remember that part. I just remember Prince Damon who sacrifices himself for Serenity, which does not happen in the manga.
Hmm.
He stays evil. Whereas in the anime, he kind of has a conversion because of her, and changes back to the good side and sacrifices himself for her, which is really
Yep.
kind of beautiful. Now that's love because he did love
Yep.
her. Kind of obsessed, but
Yeah,
you know.
in a very obsessive way.
And then something happens to Rini. You want to tell that? I know you're dying to.
Yeah, so Rini gets turned into the Dark Lady, basically the Dark Moon version of herself, or the Black Lady, if I remember correctly from the
Yes.
90s version. That's how I remember her, as the Black Lady. And she basically teams up with all of our villains and so forth, and is able to capture basically her father. And then there's scenes in there that's very, yeah, we'll just not get into
Disturbing.
that. But yeah, it's very disturbing. Definitely, it's up there. It's definitely up there, especially from Sailor Moon. But
Mm.
beyond the point, it feels like everything is all lost, and then Pluto comes in to save the day.
Hmm. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know why. I mean, you can understand that as an only child, and you have these super duper like parents that like have to govern the whole universe. Yeah, I can imagine that you feel alone, especially for 500 years.
Hmm.
And that's what she resents. I mean, that's the whole thing. She teams up with the evil guy, and that can happen to any one of us, because of resent. So she lets that resentfulness take her and transform her into actually a very, very beautiful black lady. Because if
Yeah.
you look at her, the drawing of her is really gorgeous, and that's how she's going to grow up as actually. a little bit sexy, you could say,
Yeah, so
But
there she is in her evil form.
yes, that's her. But nevertheless, very very beautiful, and I would argue say she's going to grow up into you know one gorgeous woman if she ever gets to grow up.
Yeah. And then so they have their own little scene, and I'm not gonna go too much into details because the way that she gets out of it is really pretty cool. Trying to have
Yeah.
some of a redemption arc for Rini, even though we still all have our opinions about her. And then at the end, they're able to basically save the Crystal Tokyo in the future. And one thing I wish the manga would do is kept Rini in the future, stop bringing her back,
Uh-huh.
and surprise, she comes back to help out our scouts in the past because our
That
parents of
was
the future.
so hilarious.
Uh, so I don't get it. I hate that concept. I wish they would have kept it in the future. It's like, okay, this arc is done, but then she comes back.
It was so hilarious. When I was reading it, you could actually feel like so Rini goes back to the past. She is actually in the past with all the Sailor Scouts. Sailor Moon, she lives in her house, acting as her little sister. And Serena was actually very, very sad that Rini was going to go back to the future. And she does. I mean, she's literally heartbroken. She doesn't want to see her go, but she eventually does. And leaving her both Darian and herself together as it should be because they
Yeah.
haven't gotten married, they haven't had children, they haven't had Rini yet.
Yep.
So, and she's like, she's our daughter, you can see her crying. Okay. And then a few days later, they're still in the same park, sharing a moment, sharing a cute, sweet moment, the couple. They share a kiss, and all of a sudden, boom,
She's back.
Rainy drops out and hits her own mother again on the head. She falls on her head for the second time. And is like, hey, I'm back. And then when they read the letter written by Neo Queen Serenity, you would think that it was like this royal, beautiful letter. No, it's pretty much Usagi, writing. And Darian is like, yep, that's you. That's definitely you. You wrote this.
Yep. So, dear all, I am so happy to hear that you are willing to train my small lady. Thank you for taking our daughter in. Sincerely yours, Serenity.
And there's
It's like nothing changes.
it's like, okay, that's you. So,
Because it's like, you got to think about it. There's going to be some point in time that she's going to have to go back just out of time and biology here. Because otherwise, she's going to get faded out if set things don't happen in motion. So, I don't know. It's when you mess with time, you really got to hammer your rules down. Otherwise, there's going to be a ton of holes.
Now, the thing is that you would say, and I would argue this, is like, why would she come back? Because at one point of this manga, actually, Neo Queen Serenity says, when I transformed into Neo Queen Serenity, my powers as a Sailor Scout disappeared because my functions have changed. I do different stuff as a queen, so I cannot change into a Sailor Scout. I cannot train my daughter. So that's why she was sent back into the past so that she can receive that training that she can't get in Crystal Tokyo. So I read that. I'm like,
Yeah. I would still argue you have the other Sailor Scouts that can train her up, but
okay, fair
the
enough.
definition of training is got to look into a little bit more, but yeah, it's interesting.
But anyway, very cool manga. Not my favorite one, I have to say.
It's my least favorite. Minus the Crystal Tokyo world. The world building in the future is what I absolutely love about it. Everything else, it's my least favorite.
Okay.
So like the writing, the plot, it's just it wasn't for me.
Okay. Well, we still have a few others to go. I still have my favorite ones as the second and the third mangas, which is when when Princess Serenity is revealed. I really like those, but we still have to cover a few more. So
yeah, there's a few good ones coming up.
okay. Well, I guess that's it.
Yep, that is all that we got today. The Geeky Crochet, what do you have coming up?
Oh, this is going to be so awesome. So, on Monday, finally, we are going to be reviewing The Neverending Story on our new YouTube channel after the weekend, which, by the way, I think everybody knows, but I'm going to say it again. We have become part of Red 5 Network, that channel.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was so exciting to be part of a network of such amazing people. I just hope they can cope with our madness.
Yep.
That's all I ask.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of good group of people in there.
And well, nothing more. Like, stay tuned for the new Cara Dune character. I have been commissioned also a Sahaventress. So that's going to be exciting to do. I haven't found any character crocheted of a Sahaventress or Cara Dune in that sense, in that characteristics as I do. So these are going to be one of a kind. It's going to be exciting.
That is awesome. Plenty of good things coming up.
Yeah, awesome things. Unlocking Laura is still in the making. I think I'm going to be starting off in late February, if not March, for a second season of Great Stories. So stay tuned to that. What about you, Rayron? What do you got?
All right, so we got a few things to announce. I can't go too much into detail yet, but the next episode of the Triple C right here. So next month we are potentially having our first guest. I'm still trying to lock in the time and date with him, and yes, we'll have our very first guest, which I am definitely excited for. So,
oh man, I'm so down.
I am excited. The Geeky Crochet knows, but we gotta.
Yeah,
we gotta keep it a little bit of a secret to make sure everything is finalized. So I am definitely excited, and we'll announce it on Twitter once we got the days locked in for the February edition of the Triple C. And that episode is going to be special because we're going to be just talking about collecting in general. So what it means to us, what's our favorite item, and so forth with our special guests. So hoping to lock all that in next month, and I'm definitely excited. I have created a new channel as well called the Icey News because I've been realizing that a lot of my Icey News videos has been doing well. So I decided to stick it on a different channel. So if YouTube gets at me, it will nuke that channel, not my other ones. So, and then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that we all know how YouTube works nowadays. So.
Oh yeah. And then my After Dark channel got rebranded to the Timeless Escapism. When I was thinking about this, I was doing a lot of escapism content because I do a ton of manga over there. I started my new manga podcast called The Mangaverse. And that's going to be a weekly show every Monday. So if you want to talk about anything manga, then that's where we're going to be hosting it. Because I know there's a ton of manga fans out there. And I want to try to create a central point that we can just talk manga and enjoy our escapism. So that's a huge effort to try to get that up and going. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have as well. Thank you so much, Geeky Crochet, for joining us again on a wonderful The Triple C. And now take care of our first episode for January. And again, February, hopefully we can get our special guest on and just enjoy the glorious wonders of collecting. But with that, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And for those of you who watch on the rerun, again, thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye, everyone.
Bye.